We just can't have nice things, can we? Hello again, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. A lot of breaking news today, so I'm just going to get right into this. It did break a few hours ago. In the Nashville courts, Billy Corgan has filed a lawsuit against TNA. In the suit, it names the defendants as Impact Ventures, TNA's parent company, Dixie Carter, TNA's Chief Financial Officer Dean Broadhead, and also Serge Salius. For those of you who don't know, that's Dixie Carter's husband. Not a lot of details as to why the lawsuit has come about, or what Corgan is trying to gain from the lawsuit. As per Corgan's request, the records have been sealed for this matter. One thing we do know is that a temporary restraining order has also been filed by the courts and bonded by Corgan himself. And that on October 20th, an injunction hearing is scheduled to take place. Now, once again, this is, the past couple weeks, we've heard of Corgan trying to gain majority ownership of TNA, and also the sale of the video library to WWE. A lot of stuff has been coming out as far as that has been concerned. Now, it was a Monday after Bound for Glory. Dixie was said to have a meeting with town saying she was not going to sell to WWE. It was also said that she was trying to sell the video library and Corgan blocked it. Although from what we've heard a lot of evidence to the contrary on that it was actually Corgan trying to negotiate this deal, basically to save the company. It was also said that he's trying to gain majority ownership and was looking to rebrand the company. It's also interesting, we've been hearing that Matt Hardy has been all over his Twitter talking about buying the company himself, but it's been under gimmick, so it's iffy. Again, there's not, like I said, we don't have a lot of details. We don't know what the suit is for, but more than likely it was Corgan was probably promised something by Dixie, and Dixie did not follow through. But it kind of points to the negotiations where he was trying to gain the majority ownership, and Dixie more than likely blocked it. As we've seen this track record of she's made horrible decisions and she can't seem to let go of control of TNA wrestling. Now, everyone knows that Corgan has been providing a lot of the money, basically to keep Impact on the air. There's a lot of times he's had to finance the tapings, and even went on, as I said before, to say that there's 4 times in a row Bound for Glory getting put on was going to be a last minute miracle. That 11th hour phone call. So more than likely, it has to be something dealing with Corgan not getting something that he was supposed to get and is suing the company to get it. Again, this is all speculation right now, as like I said, the details of the case are sealed, so no one really knows, and you can't figure things out and you have to figure things out until the announcement as to what the details are, which my guess is we won't hear until at least this injunction hearing. So again, Corgan suing TNA, and the details are sketchy, but I'm going to try and keep on top of this as things develop. But once again, this is another sad chapter in this company. That's every time things are going good, they seem to shoot themselves in the foot, and I think this is once again one of those issues, if not the last one. Once again, the back and forth between WWE and Paige in the news again. This time it is dealing with her upcoming neck surgery. In the surprise interview with TMZ, Paige did note that she is undergoing neck surgery next week. After the surgery, it's more than likely she will be out of action for 6 to 9 months for recovery. Of course, as we all know, 2 of those months are going to be taken up with her 60-day suspension for her second violation of WWE's wellness policy. Now, the issue here is, while Paige got a personal physician, and that doctor said that the neck surgery is required. As we all know, she's been in a lot of pain as of late, which would explain the prescription for the painkillers, as she stated, was the reason she was suspended this second time. But the big issue is that WWE doctors have been claiming that surgery wasn't required for her neck, and that rehabilitative therapy would be the way to go. The issue with that is, if WWE feels that the surgery is not necessary, WWE will not pay for it. Now, her boyfriend, Alberto Del Rio, I'm sorry, that guy named my punching bag after, he has said that he's paying for it, and which, if that's true, that's a very noble gesture. Now, this stems back to yesterday, where, actually, yesterday or a couple days, one of the two, where Paige's father, Ricky Knight, had said that she needs to come back to the UK because clearly the doctors in the United States aren't doing enough for her. To which WWE responded in a statement in the New York Post, still claiming that what Paige was suspended for was an illegal substance, not a prescription drug, as she claimed. They also said that WWE's doctors, has some of the best doctors in world-class medical treatment for its talent. All CM Punk jokes aside on this, this is a big issue. As we all know, normally, if when someone gets hurt, WWE has paid for the surgeries in the past. It's once again this big bone of contention as to whether or not if the neck surgery was required. However, we know that WWE doctors have dropped the ball on occasion, and we've also see where I hate to say this, executive decisions are made as far as medical treatment has been concerned. I could cite Daniel Bryan, where you had 3 separate doctors outside of WWE clearing him to compete, but yet the WWE doctor said, no, you can't compete. So, this once again, another one of those issues with WWE Medical. Again, there's a lot of... This is a proverbial shitstorm. What's going on as far as Paige and the WWE and what's going on. I mean, you have all this stuff going on. The she said, the they said, and then Del Rio's 5 different stories of how he got stabbed. And I don't see this settling down anytime soon. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, why don't they just, it looks like they're trying to fire Paige. They had the perfect opportunity to do it and to put the screws to her several weeks ago when she threatened to quit during her first suspension. But what I'm thinking is WWE doesn't want to look like the bad guy in this situation. It might be a bit late for that, as if and this has been one of my theories, that WWE is withholding medical treatment for Paige for reasons unbeknownst to me. Is it to keep her out of the ring for as long as possible because of how high WWE has been on the Four Horsewomen? Is it because they're leveraging medical needs to get her to break up with Del Rio again? Or is there something on Paige's end? As they said it was an illegal substance. And I've theorized that it could be Paige is on something not exactly prescribed. We have just got this huge issue here, and it could get a lot worse before it gets better. Again, this is something I'm going to try and keep on top of. But Lord, this is getting to a point where it's hard to believe anybody right now. You want to believe. I mean, we've got this track record from WWE Medical of not exactly being honest and forthcoming, and have made decisions, whether or not to clear and not clear people, because, like I said, executive decisions. We also have this issue of we don't know exactly what Paige was suspended for. We've got what she said and we got what they said. Again, the results haven't been released and probably won't be released. It's a very tumultuous situation, and clearly this could get a lot worse before it gets better, and we're just gonna I'll have to hang on for the ride, because this is gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going for a long time, I have a feeling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know that in recent months, WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart has been rather vocal on his opinions on some WWE talent, as well as who should and should not be in WWE's Hall of Fame. Recently, he, of course, we all know his beef with Seth Rollins, and also he has taken to talking about how he feels that the Freebirds don't have a place in the Hall of Fame. To which Michael Hayes took offense. There's a series of tweets where Hayes was appalled by some of the things Bret's mentioned on his podcast. Just came out recently, fairly recently, that on Bret's Facebook page, he has issued the following apology. I'd like to take this opportunity to formally apologize to Michael Hayes. A while back, I made comments about the Freebirds not being as worthy of being in the WWE Hall of Fame as others. It was unfair of me to dismiss their contributions to the industry, and they certainly did great things in Texas with the Von Erich family. Michael Hayes always treated me with great respect, as did Terry Gordy, Ronnie Garvin, and Buddy Roberts, and I am sorry if I disrespected any of them with my comments. Furthermore, I apologize to both Triple H and Seth Rollins for any hurtful comments I made on my podcast. The reality of all this is the reason I quit doing podcasts in general, because they're for the most part an outlet for negativity, and have left me with a reputation as being angry and bitter. I'm not. I'd spoke candidly and openly, but it's no excuse for minimizing other wrestlers and their contributions. In saying all that, I still believe Jim the Anvil Neidhart of the Hart Foundation, including Owen, Brian Pillman, Davey Boy Smith, the Dynamite Kid, Jimmy Hart, the Rougeau Brothers, the Killer Bees, the Demolition, Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy, and One Man Gang all deserve their place in the WWE Hall of Fame. My apologies to all. Bret Hart. Now it's no secret that okay, maybe it is a secret. I don't talk a lot about my favorite wrestlers on this show, but Bret Hart has always been one of my favorite wrestlers. He's been one I've respected, and while I understand that, everybody's got an opinion, and I felt that Bret Hart's carried some weight as his legacy in the business, his contributions to it, and can understand because of the track record Rollins had, where he in matches with him, both Sting and Finn Balor were severely injured. The match with Sting, I believe, ended Sting's career. While I don't believe that all podcasts are venting sessions, I mean, in a way, they are like fan podcasts such as this one. We just try to talk about how we feel, our opinions on the various wrestling topics of the day. And with Bret Hart's, that was no exception. Do I think that this apology is deserved? Yes. As far as him saying that the Freebirds weren't worthy, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. The Freebirds, the Fabulous Freebirds, were huge contributors to professional wrestling as a whole, and are deservedly should have their place in WWE's Hall of Fame. And with regards to Seth Rollins, while that style may be a little more risky than I'm sure Bret Hart is used to, accidents happen. We all know that in wrestling, accidents happen. We've seen like in many sports our shares of injuries in competition. Is there the possibility that Rollins could have done something different, and that both Sting and Balor would not have gotten hurt? Yes, but these things happen. The nature of the beast. And while I respect Bret Hart's opinion, I also respect this apology, because it's gonna be hard. It can be hard to say. It can be hard to take back things you've said. And in this case, it's been hurtful things. It's been things that, while it's an opinion and everybody has one, this has been, to denigrate contributions of these people to professional wrestling. And in the end, we all love wrestling, and Bret Hart's, I'm sure, no exception. And so, to say this, I think it was a big step for Bret. I mean, and I know he's gotten the reputation of being angry and bitter, and as well, it just seems like age and time and circumstance has that effect on people. I believe this apology is well deserved, and I do applaud Bret for it, because he could easily stick to his guns, but instead taking the high road and saying, you know what, I screwed up. These people that I talked about in a negative way, they have made great contributions to the sport that we all love. And with that, I'm going to say yes, it was well reserved and well deserved, this apology. Well, that concludes this episode of The Guido Goes Off. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching. As always, if you have anything to say about any of the topics I covered on this episode, of course, you can always feel free to drop a line in the comments section below. Of course, you can always talk to me via my social media at this address. And of course, while you're here, don't be afraid to like it, share it, subscribe it, because, there's always more coming. Until next time, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.